actually just find that music quite relaxing. What do you do? It's just a bit of a chill out to get us going. So listen, what have we been doing all week? Permission to be rich. That's it. Permission. Do you know where that story actually comes from? Let me give you a little bit of an insight. Before my mum passed away, obviously it was in the middle of COVID and it was difficult to get there, etc., etc. And I actually was waiting to get there. I mean, I'd been there, I'd come back, and because you don't know how long people are going to take. And so I just came back, and then they phoned me and said, listen, she's going. And I thought, I'm not going to get there till Friday. I couldn't get over. I've had to swim across or whatever. And so when I spoke to one of my medium friends, she said, give your mum permission to go now. She's waiting for you because you're waiting to get over. Give her permission. My goodness. I gave her permission, and 2 hours later, in my mind, I didn't speak to her. I gave her permission. That gave me a real sense of reality as to, my goodness, what have I not been giving permission to in my life? What have I been fighting for? That leads to the next story. Yeah. You see, the thing was, I've been fighting my mum all my life, my goodness. And I remember 10 years ago being told that if you sort the relationship out with your mum, you will sort the relationship out with yourself and things will start to move. So my mum was literally just about to go, and my brother said, oh, she's given up the fight. She's given up the fight. And I'm like, why are we waiting till our deathbed to give up the fight? Give it up now. Give it up now. Stop fighting for what is already yours. Everything you seek is seeking you. I absolutely promise you that. Science tells us that. I feel it. I know it. I've seen examples of it. You wouldn't want it if it wasn't already yours. So what do we talk about on Monday was about the doubts that we have. I mean, that's what they all are. They're all doubts. But here's the thing. If you give out doubt, you'll get proved your doubt. So why don't you give out trust and you'll get proved your trust? Like, you're amazing manifestors. Have you ever heard the saying, yes, I told you so. I knew that would happen. That's the story of my life. Is that starting to resonate with you? Is that really starting to resonate with you? I hope so. What about the pumpkin in the glass jar? You grow a pumpkin in a glass jar and it ends up the shape of a glass jar. What glass jar have you been in all your life? What glass jar are you continuing to live in right now, trying to get out, but not quite making it? And trying to change what can't be changed within the glass jar. You have to smash that glass jar and get out of it. So imagine if you were a pumpkin that was able to grow anywhere, anytime. Do you see the size the pumpkins grow to when they're really cared for, loved, and looked after? That's you. That's you. But I know, here's what's happening. So have you all heard of the story of Plato's cave? Okay. Well, so there's all these people in a cave and they're chained and locked to look this way. They can only look this way. Their heads are literally in braces and they're chained together and they're huddled together so they can only look that way. So what they can see is there's a light happening. And in that light, they can see shadows, and they see shadows on the wall in front. And they see all those shadows. They can't see anybody beside them, remember, because they've actually got blinkers on, so they can't even see what's beside them. They can only see the shadows on the wall. And so they think that's life. And so all they do is watch the shadows. But then one day, one of them breaks free. And he realizes that, my goodness, I can move. And he goes exploring. And he goes to find the light. And he goes out, and it's like really, really bright, and keeps hiding away from it. But then he eventually steps into it. And he sees the people and the light and the beauty. It's all there. And that's what's casting a shadow on the wall of the cave. So he goes down and he tells everybody, oh my goodness, these shadows aren't real. They aren't real. This is what's real. And they're all like, don't be silly. That's stupid. Can't be like that. This is real. This is real. The shadows and the wall is real. You were being a shadow of yourself. But it's not bad. It's not bad. Because guess how shadows are formed? From light. It's just that you're focused on your shadow instead of turning round and looking at your light. Imagine if you put your attention and your focus on your light instead of your shadow. And you know what? The greater your shadow, it means the closer you are to light. Don't you see that? Don't you see that the more you study, and if you stop and turned around, you'd be at the light? The more you know about you, the greater your shadow can be. But stop focusing on the shadow. Wow. I wonder if you can do that today. Are you ready to focus on your light? Book a call. Only if you're serious. Only if you're ready. Don't think that a free call will last you a week. That's it. I don't want you to last a week. I want you to be sorted for the rest of your life. I want you to never need this again. Ever. Because you've got the answers. And let me tell you, you have every single answer. I mean, I don't stop studying, but I'm studying me. When I read a book, I don't read it to get through it. I stop and I ponder. How's that showing up in my life? I'm studying me, because when I know me, I know you. And when Bob Proctor said that to me, wow, I got it. I didn't know who me was. So I was full of judgments for everything else, even though I'm positivity number one. I couldn't even hear my own judgments. Like I said before, that was the poison that was destroying me, not you, me. When we're in fear and negativity, we've got a very close vibration. It's all inverted and it's pointing towards you. So you actually take the brunt of it, of poisonous thoughts, because that's what they are. If they're not feeling love, they're poison. But you're the one getting it. But when you give love, the evidence shows us on scans, this is science, that you can affect millions of people. So remember that the next time. Yeah, remember it the next time. I'm just checking on something. I've realized that just 2 seconds. There we go. I thought something was right. And, well, it's obviously right, isn't it? There you go. So listen, let me share something with you. It's about the levels of awareness. And you'll see where you are straight away. Straight away. It's actually quite fun to have a look at this. So, right, these are the 7 levels of awareness. Can you see where you are? I mean, I have to laugh because we all do this. We all react. That is, you know what your reaction is? Evidence of past beliefs, evidence of past thinking. When you react, we're no better than the animals because that's how they live their lives. Now, if you want to be like that, now, there's nothing, please understand that there's nothing that I'm saying that you have to rise. I mean, you don't. If you are happy or not happy, I mean, it doesn't really matter. You be where you want to be. And if you want to be reacting your way through life, then you just stay there. I love you where you are. You are just beautiful and gorgeous and everything. And just accept it. You don't want to grow? Don't grow. I mean, don't. Stop lying to yourself. Stop forcing yourself. You're just perfectly beautiful the way you are. I thought everybody had to rise, but you know what? This time, this lifetime, next time, next time, next time, next time, it doesn't really matter. You're going to know one day, this lifetime or the next. Hmm, there's no rush. It just is your choice. So then what happens is that's fight or flight. And that's when I realized that I was fighting myself my whole life. I was either fighting myself or running away from myself. Need to get away from this job. I hate that person. I hate that person. So you leave. And guess what? So there's a story about that, about the monk on the top of the hill, and a traveler comes along and he says to him, what are the people like in the next village? And he says, well, what were they like in the last village? Well, they were horrible and bitter and very judgmental. Well, that's what you'll find in the next village. Then the next traveler comes along and says the same thing. What was they like in the next village? And he goes, well, what did you find in the last village? Oh, they were beautiful, full of love and happiness. Well, that's what you will find in the next village. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you? Do you understand the impact on you and how you live your life? It's just a decision. Mastery is whenever we respond, when we no longer react. I'm not saying, to imagine being a mastery at all times. My goodness, I think that's the Dalai Lama. Even Bob will, say that, he doesn't master it. He's still learning. He still has reactions, but we catch them quicker. We catch them quicker. You see, it's all about decision. You start to decide ahead of yourself how you're going to feel rather than waiting for the situation. Write that down. Or did you miss it? What I just said? Play this back. Write it down. So the next level is, well, we follow the masses. Well, I'll just do what everybody else is doing. So religion, culture, school, university, job, family. I can't think of anything else. Actually, black, white, yellow, blue, whatever color you call yourself, you'll follow the paradigm of that color. You'll follow the paradigm of the religion. You'll follow and nothing's going to change you because you follow it. They did it, so we're doing it. That's where 97% of the people are now. I imagine if you're watching this, you don't want to be 97% of the people. And so what I do, what I ask people is to look beyond what they're programmed. And it's nothing to do with the religion, the culture, the school, the job, whatever it is. It's nothing to do with that. It's to do with your feeling about it. If you can feel good about it and you're happy and you don't judge other people, because the judgment, you think judgment is hurting other people. No, 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 no. Remember again, when we judge, we're in fear and we're contraction. We're poisoning ourselves. So normally people in paradigms will be judging the other paradigms. You're not hurting them. You're hurting yourself. Can you please get this? Again, this is all about decision. Now, you see, what happens is that you then start to aspire to be something greater. And then some people just start to call you names, but you've probably just kept it into yourself. And when you started to study, but you're still following the masses, but you're now starting to get a greater level of awareness, but you're still being pulled down by the masses. And then you dare to express your uniqueness. Well, that's just hilarious. I mean, I will never forget when I was about 14 and I said to my mum that I was born again. And they all laughed. My dad, my mum, and my two brothers. I mean, I remember sitting down for Sunday dinner and said that I was born again. I had no clue what I was on about, to be honest, but I obviously felt it then. And they all laughed at me. Well, that shut me up. I never said anything again. I didn't express my uniqueness again. That was the masses that pulled me down. You see, what we want to do is learn to give ourselves a command and follow it, regardless of what other people say, regardless of what your chirpy, chirpy logic brain and your monkey brain is telling you. That's logic. That is logic. What is logic? All your past. Now, do you want your past to be your future? You see, it's not natural to be successful, as in having lots of money, being able to do what you want. There's only 3% doing that and 1% really doing it. So what are the 97% doing? What do you think? They're following the masses. Now, this is where you choose. You choose your decision. So the masses, right? Are you listening? Listen. The masses will jump for joy when you strangle yourself with a £250,000 mortgage to buy a house and that you have to pay off for the next 25 years. They will be clapping. But you spend £6,000 on a program for yourself to develop yourself so that you could have 250,000 to buy the house outright. They will laugh at you. That's the 97%. This is where you decide where do you want to be. This is where you decide where you want to be. This isn't even about your goals and what you want or anything. It's deciding, do you want to follow the masses? Or do you want to live a life of extraordinaire? When you're 90, do you want to look back and go, God, I'm so glad I followed everybody else's thoughts. I'm so glad I did what everybody else did. I am so glad that I strangled myself financially just to keep up with having the house and the car, 2.4 children. I am so glad I cleaned the house. I am so glad I went on one holiday a year. I am so glad I give all my best years to a company and made them rich. I am so glad I had a pension that was 40% of what I couldn't survive on in the first place. And the tax man took some more money for that. I am so glad I'm so exhausted now that I have to die. I'm taking the mick, but that's what you're doing. That's what 97, and I know the pull, because you talk yourself and you just go, well, that's just stupid, Sheena. Who do you think you are, Sheena? But you know now what I answer, who do I think I am? Yeah, I know who I am. Thank you very much. I used to drop at that question, who do you think you are? I'd go, oh God, who do I think I are? I am. Exactly. Who do I think I am? Exactly. And then I would say to myself, what's the point? What's the point? What is the point? Being where you are now, or being in a place of pure joy, happiness, without any worry, without any doubt, and in momentum and floating through life. That's not realistic, Sheena. What's realistic? What is it? Today? Here? Now? This is your past. What you're looking at now has already manifested. What you're looking at now has already manifested. So what you're looking at is the past. What you're looking at is the past. And that's entirely up to you. Entirely up to you. What do you want to choose? I love it. I know nothing. The more I know, the less I know. But you know what I've started to experience? It wasn't about knowledge. The more I know, the more I feel. It wasn't about knowledge. I embrace the uniqueness. I embrace the unknowing. I embrace everything. Because you see, what happens is if you do not make a decision and step forward and invest in yourself, and by all means, do it yourself. By all means, you crack on. I mean, you've been doing it yourself all this time, and we're watching this webinar together. By all means, keep going. Anybody who has got any success had help, and I'm here to help you. Right here, right now, book a call. I don't know what the heck you're waiting for. You know what Bob Proctor used to say, what he said to me? He said, Sheena, borrow the money so you never have to borrow again. I didn't have to borrow again. And I borrowed the money. And I gave it back with so much more. So much more. So your dreams then become a wish. That's why you don't get what's on your dream board. Now, if you want to live like that, that's absolutely fine. I don't want you to torture yourself. Rip the dream board off. Rip it off. And enjoy and appreciate where you are. And I promise you'll get more. I promise you'll get more. But don't live in mere wish or hope. Live in the gratitude of now. Because you see, what happens is that you're stuck. You're stuck. Your thinking's controlled by your results, and your results are controlled by your thinking, and you're just going round and round and round in circles, and your paradigm is just feeding you, and it's just literally getting you the same results over and over and over again. And it really doesn't matter how hard you work. Please let me help you with that. Please stop working harder in the same paradigm. It just gets you exhausted. I see it all so clearly now what I was doing. I don't want you to do that. Book a call. Click on the link. Book a call. Step up. You'll find the money. You need to make a decision first. A decision that you don't want to be the 97%, because anything else is a decision for the 97%, and you're not here. You're like the reluctant leader. You hear the calling, but you go, who, me? Me? No, can't possibly be me. If you're watching this, I think it is. So stop getting stuck in that bit. You want to give yourself a command, follow it, scare yourself, step into the unknown. That's what you're here for, to bring the unknown into the known, not to mess around in the known. That's not creation. That's just regurgitation. That's why you feel frustrated, because you know there's more. But some people just want to stay in the known, and they will stay that way. Leave them. Isn't that what it said in the Bible? Do not serve your pearls to swine. Because they'll just step all over them. You don't want people to do that to your information. So just keep this to yourself, speak to yourself, and step forward. I'm here. Are you up for doing this together? Are you up for walking with me? And then your actions are going to change your results. But don't be doing actions from the same paradigm. You just exhaust yourself. There have to be new actions from a new paradigm. And you plan your way through your life rather than reacting your way through the life. You have this control. This is such a powerful diagram here. Powerful, powerful, powerful. Your results are on one level. Your goal is on another. And it's just a frequency. And it's not about getting to the frequency. It's about dropping the crap and focusing on the new paradigm. You make a decision that you're staying there. What does it feel like to have what you want? What does it feel like? But I know what happens. You start making your decision from down there. It's never going to work when you make your decision in this vibration. You keep going, how am I going to find the money? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? How am I going to do the other? No, 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 no. Those questions alone should help you know that you're not in the right place. Like, did you ask yourself how you were going to breathe today? Did you ask yourself how was the sun going to come up? No. You knew. This is a committed decision that you're worth it, that your goal is worth it, and it's time now you made that decision. That is a decision. And let me tell you, when you make the decision every day, you make the decision every day until the decision makes you. Are you prepared to do that? I couldn't see your comments there. I'm quite interested to see what's going on there. Why not now? Yes. Why get it in another lifetime? The reason I said that, Adelera, is because you drop the trying. You see, let me give you an experience of where that's worked. Just one example. Again, it's to do with my mum. That I had never heard her say, "I'm proud of you." I couldn't even say the words to my mum that I thought I had learned. I mean, I couldn't tell her that it was actually through her negativity that I learned all my good lessons. So I wasn't going to say that. And I didn't know how to say it. And I wanted to tell her that she was the best mum in the world. Not because me, but because I wanted her to have those words. Like, I wanted to hear, "I'm proud of you." I wanted her to have the words of, "Mum, you were the best mum in the world. You couldn't have been any better." Because I knew that was the truth. But this body didn't want to say it. It was like, I am not saying that. Even though I knew it here, I felt it here, I couldn't get the body to do it. How many times have you felt that yourself? You know it, you feel it, but there's nothing happening. So by me saying to my body, right, that's okay, this lifetime or the next lifetime, but it's being said. So it took all the angst away. And I was brought a situation the next day, where my brother had been horrible to my mum. And she phoned me and she says, "Graham said this about me, that he hated me and etc., etc." And it just fell out my mouth. I said, "The hatred is all to do with Graham and how he's living his life. It's nothing to do with you, mummy. I think you're the best mum in the world. You have taught me so much and you couldn't have done a better job." And that fell out of my mouth. My mum really didn't know what to do. She just said, oh, thank you. Thank you. And I went, "Now, you just concentrate on you and rest. Look after yourself. Forget about him. He'll sort himself out. He's a big boy now. He can sort himself out." Those words just fell out of my mouth. When I put the phone down, I realized that I'd made a decision, that they'd been said. It was like it was done. And so it happened. That's where that comes from, Adelera. Just exposed how much we do not appreciate ourselves, being so glad that we're belittling ourselves and accepting what we don't want without the quality to command. Adelera, your quotes are always so good. I'm just going to put them on the screen there so everybody else can read them. Adelera is a fantastic mind. So it's about putting this into practice. When you decide that you want the experience will come. You know why? Because I had the experience. I stopped fighting. It was done. And that was it. I literally said, "So it is." And even from beyond the grave, when my mum died, that I had a medium reach out to me and she said, "Sheena, I have a message from your mum." This was completely unsolicited. And she said, "Your mum says she's proud of you." Came from beyond the grave. Remember what I said? Not in this lifetime or the next. Who could make that up? Who could make it up? I'm telling you, when you start to think this way, everything in your life changes. I don't care if you're not got business results or you've got business results and you're not happy. Whatever, you want a relationship, I don't care what it is. You're ill, you want a baby, you want a man, I don't care. Whatever it is that you want, when you sort you out from the very nucleus that you are, then the rest of your life changes. The rest of your life changes. And you watch the magical things happen and you just say, thank you, thank you, thank you. Because asking and staying in the wanting is actually coming from lack. When you see those visions, you say, thank you. And then you pray without ceasing all day. And you say, thank you. Who wants to live there? Who wants to live in that space? If this has resonated with you, share this, especially this last one today. Share it. Share it with as many people as possible. Nobody needs help, and please don't think that for 1 minute. You're all amazing, and you choose to be where you are. But if you're asking for help, I'm here. I think you're perfect. I think you're beautiful. And if you reach out to me, I will help us rise together even more. At the awareness of how absolutely amazing you are. It's not who you think you are that's holding you back. It's who you think you're not. Do you want to investigate that? Investigate it with me. I promise you for the next 6 months, it's going to be an amazing journey. Book that call. You do it today, there's bonuses galore. Bonuses galore. You don't? I love you. You're amazing. And perhaps you'd like to be in the top 3%. Do you think it's a lot of effort? It's no more effort to create a castle as it is a button, as Abraham Hicks says. What are you creating? Have the most awesome day. And I will see you when you book that call. Goodbye now.